Relationships are worth far more in business than cash collected. And if you've been in sales, if you're a business owner, you probably really have seen this in action. Now, let's talk about the typical sales cycle. Typical sales cycle, a prospect comes in, right? At this point, it's just a lead. It's a prospective client or customer, whatever. They are talking to you or your sales team. Let's say you're the salesperson in this scenario. So they're talking to you. And they're like, okay, well, tell me a little bit more. You kind of do this whole discovery thing. You talk to them, you find out what they're doing, they find out what you're doing, and you're trying to see whether this is even a good fit. Then you start adding value to that offer. Okay, now, hey, prospect, I see that you're in this part in your business. Well, one of the services that we provide is XYZ, right? Sounds like it might be a good fit. Now, this customer then comes back to you, or this prospect comes back, and you're kind of building a slight relationship through that process. But for the most part, your goal is to get them to the finish line. So long story short, you're talking to this client, you're selling them. And once you close that deal, once the cash is collected, for most businesses, that relationship on the sales side is basically over. I think that there are two things that we can do during that cycle, during the sales cycle and after, that can create a longer lifetime value for that customer. So not only are we providing more value to them, but we're also creating more value for the business. So if that customer initially was going to spend, let's say $10,000, we could maybe even bump that up to 11,000 or 12,000 or 100,000. You don't know. That customer could have a lot more money that they're willing to spend on your products because they just love you so much. But if you're not offering it to them, if you're not explaining to them how all of this works together, maybe they'll never even pull the trigger. And here's the thing. You have to understand that running an integrated business it's a game changer, right? You being able to have that one customer, they buy one service from you, and then that service also links to something else on your company. Even creating just one link to your main product is an amazing value add. Because let's say that customer comes in and they're buying, let's say, toothbrushes, right? You manufacture toothbrushes. So they buy a toothbrush from you. Well, guess what else that customer is gonna need? He's gonna need toothpaste, right? So what if you just also offered him toothpaste, right? Instead of him going out there and man, I love Austin's business. It's great. I love their toothbrushes, but man, I really wish they had toothpaste too, but they don't. So I'm going to go to Joe over here. Joe's toothpaste is the next best one. So they go and they're going to spend that money anyways. They like your business. They trust you. They've already spent money with you. What if you could also solve their problem so they don't have to go over to Joe? And maybe you can give them a better deal. Maybe Joe is charging, I honestly don't even know off the top of my head how much toothpaste costs, but probably like $5-10, right? Let's say it's $10 for a tube of toothpaste. What if you offered it to him for $9? Hey, I see that you're buying a toothbrush from me. I can give you a 10% discount. Normally we sell it for $10, but I'll give you a discount. I'll add some value to you. In reality, you're actually making even more money than Joe is, right? And that's a win-win scenario because they save money, the customers save money, but you're also making more money because guess what? Joe had to spend money marketing to that client and indoctrinating that client on the belief that their toothpaste is the best. But because this client has already bought from you, they already believe that you have a good product. They like your toothbrushes and they're also buying toothpaste. And then you're like, hey, we also have mouthwash. Hey, we also have floss. Hey, you probably need a new sink. I don't know what your sink is like right now, but if it's leaking water, if it's dripping, you're probably wasting money on your water bill. What if we installed a new sink for you, right? And you can really start building a whole ecosystem of products. And that's how you build a powerful business because you're not having to remarket to all these people. You're able to bring in that customer on the toothbrush. You acquired that lead, and now you're able to also provide value to them in all these other areas. And you're saving them time, number one. You're probably saving them money because you can give them a discount if they're buying something else from you. And you're creating a higher long-term value or a higher lifetime value for this customer in your business. And so this is how you grow a business. This is basically the whole model of growing a business. One thing to think about in all of this is that you have to have that solid flagship product, right? Whatever that is, something that brings people in the door, something that people just absolutely love, and then you can start adding other things. So think of it as a marketing funnel. This is your marketing funnel. And by the way, some businesses, they will literally use that first initial product, like in this case, it's the toothbrushes. They will literally lose money on it. Let's say it costs them $5 to manufacture. They'll sell it for $2. And guess what? Nobody else is selling toothbrushes for $2 because they just can't get their production costs that low. But because we're selling it for $2, we're losing $3 there. But then this customer also buys 2 tubes of toothpaste, floss, and a sink. Imagine the margins that we're making. We're willing to take a small loss on the front end because we're building a lifetime customer. And guess what? Next month, when the customer needs more toothpaste, guess who they're going to? Me. And so month after month after month after month after month, I'm making a consistent profit on this product, even though I took a loss on the front end on the toothbrush. And some businesses, by the way, they'll do this in a temporary way. Sometimes it's temporary, sometimes it's permanent. And what I mean by that is, for example, your first order might be like 50% off or something like that, right? So they're willing to take a loss or even just break even on the front end and then use that to get you in the door and get you on a subscription. Or some companies will literally give it for free, and some companies will just have it as a permanent offer. So, hey, whenever you buy this, you get it at this price, and this is a loss for us. Cool. So understanding the economics of that, of course, is important, because you don't want people just buying toothbrushes from you in that case, because then you're just losing $3 per transaction, and it's not a good thing for your business to lose money, of course. This kind of goes to my point of indoctrination, right? We have 2 types of indoctrination. Number 1 is the initial indoctrination, right? When you're first talking to that customer, you're helping them, you're teaching them about what you do. And then there's secondary indoctrination, or where you have after the sale indoctrination. After you've sold them the product, you continue educating them. And I'll do a whole video on the different types of indoctrination. But the important part is that you are helping them realize your whole package, your whole product suite, because most customers don't buy because they don't understand, right? It's not because they don't like your product. It's not because they hate you, whatever it is. They are not buying because they don't understand why they need all these things. So your job as the business owner is like, hey, the reason that I have all these products is not because I wanted more products. The reason that I have all these products is because, number 1, I know this is the best toothbrush on the market. Number 2, I know this is the best toothpaste on the market. Number 3, I know this is the best floss, right? And so altogether, you need to have all 3 to have a complete dental hygiene routine. If a customer comes in and they don't know, right, that's a pretty basic one. Like, hopefully people know that they need to floss, but what if they don't, right? And the thing is that you as the business owner fully understand your product suite. It might even sound boring to you at this point, but they don't. It doesn't mean that they understand it. It doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. So you have kind of this scenario where you know, but they don't. And so your job is to communicate to them what they don't know, so they understand why you have all these products, because they're all necessary for total dental hygiene. And then you can build more value for this customer and create more lifetime value for the business out of that customer. So anyways, guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.